Test, test, test.
what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'm Ariel Stokes. I'm the first vice president of the Lafayette Junior Red Club. The invocation this morning is brought to you by Lafayette High School Assistant Principal Tom Langford.
You can be seated. Before I bless this program with an invitation, I want to offer a moment of silence and reflection to honor and remember Coach John Wilkin. Many of you have heard tragically lost his life in a house fire Sunday morning. We want to continue to lift his wife Heather and their two children up as they continue to recover. So let's now have a moment of silence, and then I will conclude with the invocation. Heavenly Father, as we gather here on this Veterans Day, we pause to reflect on the sacrifices made by the brave men and women who have served our country. We honor those who have defended the freedoms that we hold dear and remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. We ask for your blessings upon our veterans, past and present. Grant them peace, comfort, and healing for the battles that they fought, both on the field and within their hearts. May we always strive to support and uplift them, recognizing their courage and commitment to our country. As we remember their sacrifices, may we be inspired to serve our community and uphold the values of bravery, honor, and integrity that they embody. Let us come together in gratitude and respect, ensuring that their contributions are never forgotten. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.
It is my pleasure to introduce the Lafayette High School Dover Amigos. They will be singing God Bless America. I'm Cadence Steeple Paul, second vice president of the Lafayette Juniorette Club. Here to recognize the significance of Veterans Day is Lafayette City Councilman Tom Lakeford and from Walker County Government, Commissioner Brian Hart.
As you may tell, I wear a few different hats. So I'm putting on the city hat at this point. It's an honor to be here on behalf of our city and read the Veterans Day proclamation that has become a tradition. Normally our mayor takes this role, but he decided he wanted to be just an innocent bystander today, so he passed that off to me. So I will read our Veterans Day proclamation from the city of Lafayette. Whereas the city of Lafayette is proud to honor the men and women who have served in the armed forces of the United States of America, defending our freedom, safeguarding our nation, and upholding the principles upon which our country was founded. And whereas the Veterans Day is a time for all Americans to pause and reflect with gratitude upon the immeasurable contributions and sacrifices of our veterans, as well as their families who share in the burden of service to our country. And whereas the city of Lafayette recognizes the importance of honoring the legacy of our veterans, acknowledging their role in shaping and preserving the freedoms we cherish today, and reaffirming our commitment to supporting them in our communities. And whereas it is fitting that we join together to pay tribute to all who have served, express our heartfelt appreciation, and renew our pledge to promote patriotism and respect for those who wear or have worn the uniform of the United States of America. Now therefore, I, Andy Arnold, Mayor of the City of Lafayette, do hereby recognize Tuesday, November 11th, 2025 as Veterans Day in the City of Lafayette, and encourage all citizens to recognize and honor the valor, service, and sacrifice of our veterans. Let us observe this day with appropriate ceremonies, expressions of gratitude, and acts of service that demonstrate our respect and appreciation for those who have given so much for the cause of freedom. In witness thereof, I have done hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Lafayette to be affixed on this 11th day of November 2025. Thank you.
I'm here this morning to represent our Board of Commissioners. Our Chairwoman Angie Teams could not be here, so I'm Brian Hart, and I'm the District 3 Commissioner representing our Board of Commissioners. Proclamation by the Walker County Board of Commissioners, Veterans Day 2025. Whereas since the dawn of this nation, veterans have defined our way of life with integrity, dedication, and distinction. And whereas there are over 600,000 veterans in Georgia who by their continued devotion to the highest ideas of citizenship constitute a foundation of both strength and progress in the state. And whereas over 3,600 Walker County residents devoted their talents to assist our community throughout military service, according to the latest data from the United States Census Bureau. And whereas in 1952, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the first Veterans Day proclamation and called on our nation to solemnly remember the sacrifices of all those who fought so valiantly on the seas, in the air, on foreign shores to preserve our heritage of freedom. Therefore, I, Angie Teams, on behalf of the Walker County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim November 11, 2025 to be observed as Veterans Day in Walker County, Georgia, in honor of our local veterans and in remembrance of those who devoted their lives to protect our freedoms. So, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, thank you, Women's Club, for putting this great event on for so many years. It's greatly appreciated. Also, it's good to live in a community that does support our veterans. We had a great parade Saturday. Johnson Fowler kind of headed it up to the American Legion, but that was a great event. A second one we've had in a row. And we had a great dinner last night, provided by Tina Gross and her group at the Civic Center. So it's good to live in a community that doesn't forget what our veterans have done for us. So thank you very much.
We are honored to have Georgia State Representative Mike Cameron as our speaker today. Representative Mike Cameron was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee. His family lived in Rossville, Georgia until he entered the first grade. At that time, his family moved to Lookout Valley, where he lived most of the next 25 years. In 1977, Mr. Cameron graduated from Lookout Valley High School, then attended the Chattanooga State, graduating with a bachelor's degree. In 1982, Mr. Cameron began a 32-year-long career working with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. During his early years at Blue Cross, he completed his bachelor's degree in history. During Mr. Cameron's working years, he acted as sole caregiver for his mother. He learned a great deal about senior care issues and how to navigate the healthcare system. After retirement, Mr. Cameron became very active in Walker County, Georgia politics. In 2018, Mr. Cameron was asked to fill a vacancy as chairman of Walker County Republican Party. In 2020, he was elected as state representative for Georgia House District 1, which includes parts of Walker and all of Dade counties. In 2022, Representative Cameron was re-elected. As representative, Mr. Cameron has recently been named vice chairman of House Human Relations and Aging Committee. In addition, he is on the standing committees including Agriculture, Labor, Budget, and Oversight. Outside of work and politics, Representative Cameron is very involved in his church, Good Shepherd Lutheran in East Ridge, Tennessee. Representative Cameron serves as a volunteer at the School of Rossville. In summer, he teaches a Bible class to at-risk fifth graders at Rossville Summer Academy. Please join me in welcoming Representative Mike Cameron.
Good morning. I've made it up the steps in brand new shoes and I didn't fall, so that's pretty good for an old guy. First thing I want to say is I'm blown away by the number of young people in uniform today. It's incredible, but it's not unexpected in the city of Lafayette that we have such a patriotic spirit. We have young people that are willing to serve, so thank you. I'm also blown away by the fact that I get to stand here in front of my heroes. People from the Post 339. My heroes aren't on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. They're the men and women of the American military. And I thank you for your service, not only in your military service, but your service in this community now, because you do a lot of great things in this community, and you should be recognized today. Thank you for that. I want to pick up on a word that Mr. Langford talked about in his prayer. It's the word sacrifice. And I don't use that term as a negative term, but I want you to understand that serving in the military, there are certain sacrifices you're going to make. The first one is time. When you finish basic training and get assigned to a post somewhere, you're going to be usually far away from home. And you're going to miss things. You're going to miss births of children. You're going to miss anniversaries. You're going to miss deaths of family members. Those kind of things. So there is a sacrifice of time. There's also sacrifice of other things, like sacrifice of physical. Many of our men and women come back from the military, they're injured. Some of those injuries are lifelong injuries. And we see those. I went to high school, graduated right at the time of Vietnam was ending, and we saw a lot of those people came back. They were injured physically. They also were injured emotionally. Seeing the things of war, if they're assigned to a place where there's war, those things don't go away overnight. Sometimes they never go away. And we have to recognize that's a big sacrifice. And I want to tell you about the story of one soldier that I met several years ago at Dade County High School. He was visiting over there. His name is Sergeant Danny Davis. Sergeant Davis was a platoon leader in Vietnam. And if you don't know what Vietnam, then Google it. And I tell people that I don't assume people know things anymore, so Google it or wiki it. And Sergeant Davis served in a platoon, and one day they were overcome with a large number of enemy troops, and they were fired upon, and part of the platoon got separated. They were on the other side of a river, and Sergeant Davis was wounded, but he wasn't going to let his troops on the other side of the river go. So he forded that river several times, brought his troops over to the other side of the river, and saved some lives. And he ended up becoming a Medal of Honor winner because of his service. During that firefight, he was wounded 37 times with shrapnel. And one of those pieces of shrapnel he wears around his neck today as a reminder of what he went through. And he also went to the White House, and President Johnson bestowed on him the Medal of Honor. And they made a movie based loosely on his life. It's called Forrest Gump. I don't know if anybody's seen Forrest Gump, but there's scenes in there. There's one scene when Forrest Gump gets the Medal of Honor. It's actually Sergeant Davis's body with Tom Hanks' head CGI'd on there. So you know that's Yeah. So if you ever get on Jeopardy, you'll know that. But just so you know, I don't use the term sacrifice as a bad term. When you join the military, you're willing to sacrifice. And as President Ronald Reagan said, freedom is just one generation away from extinction. It has to be fought for by every generation. And some of you are going to enter the military and do that. And I'll make a prediction, several decades down the road, there's going to be some of you that are going to be at this very event to tell another group of cadets exactly what you've experienced. So what I would tell you today, if you know a veteran, cherish those veterans, honor those veterans, learn from those veterans. If you don't know, go to Post 339 and meet some of those folks and listen to their stories and what they can teach you. Because it's something very special to come to a place like this. Because some places I go, they don't have this. This is very special for this community to be like this. And Dade County does the same thing, so does Ridgeland. So I'm blessed in my district to have people who honor the military. But we can never forget the military. We can never forget their sacrifice. We can never forget their service in this community and other communities all around the country. So if you don't know a veteran, meet a veteran, talk to a veteran, but most important, listen to what they have to tell you and what they can teach you. Thank you again to the Women's Club of Fayette for inviting me. Thanks to Principal Maggie Schultz also. Thank you very much.
I'm Cadet Julia Perez, School of Veterans. I would like to introduce you to Major Currency is a senior army instructor for Ridgeland High School. Major Currency honorably served 22 years in the United States Army as a logistics officer. She held key leadership positions throughout her career, including company commander with the 1st Special Forces Group and Group Executive Officer for the 52nd Explosive Ordnance Disposal Group. A graduate of the U.S. Army Command and General Staff College. She is also a certified Master Fitness Trainer, Jump Master, and former female engagement team leader in Afghanistan. Her awards include the Bronze Star Medal, the Victoria Service Medal, and the Iraq and Afghanistan Campaign Medals. Following her military retirement, Major Currency continues her legacy of service as a senior army instructor in Ridgeland High School, JRTC, Georgia. And as the owner of the Chickamauga Creek Farms, the veteran-owned sustainable farm in Walker County, Georgia. Please join me in welcoming Major Retired James Currency.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow veterans, students, cadets, good morning, and thank you for having me here today. It is an honor to be asked to speak in front of you, and I'm sure many of you can imagine how my cadets feel when I told them I would be here with you this morning and not with them. My service in the military started at the age of 17, when I couldn't decide between going to college to pursue a career in dance or restoring hot rods. All I know is I didn't want to pile up a mountain of college debt. I wanted to move out and earn some money and figure out my life. Then, at 17, I never imagined all the Army would become for me and what this uniform would mean. Over the course of 22 years, I met and married my husband. I had 4 children. I moved all over the southern United States. I earned 4 college degrees, attended a plethora of military schools, and made some of the best friends I have ever imagined. Sure, like any profession, the military has drawbacks. I entered the military at a time where women had the rights to do most things, but still fought for some. I was unable to be promoted to the rank of sergeant because at the time I was pregnant and could not attend the required prerequisite military school. Ironically, the same thing happened when I wanted to attend the Audie Murphy Board and go to OCS. Many people would tell me that was unfair in the Army, but I would tell them that that was my husband's fault. When I was asked to speak here today,
a few months ago by the Veterans Club, I was asked to talk about what it meant to be a female in the military. I said absolutely right away, and then I thought I didn't know what I wanted to speak of and how that was unique for me. It wasn't until after I got to school and I started teaching originally, and I would hear students talk and ask me about what it was like to be a female in the military. They would bring up all of the negative things they heard, how hard it must be, and why their family members had told them they should never join it. It was that moment I realized what I wanted to address. See, when it comes to females in the military, we always seem to focus on how hard it was, what we overcame, who we had met, who it was difficult to be with. We never talk about the opportunities. We never talk about the chances that we were given and the things that we get to do. And for me, that's all the Army was. It was an opportunity. I had the opportunity to fast rope with helicopters. I jumped out of airplanes. I attended the Army Master Fitness School after many of my male counterparts had failed the entrance exam and there was no vacancy. I deployed to Iraq with the field artillery unit, and the females weren't allowed to be part of the field artillery units. And I served in Afghanistan with a cavalry squadron at a time when females weren't allowed to be out the wire, and I was always there. The military gives you a sense of opportunity that because if you are willing to put yourself out there, you are willing to try, your door will never be shut. And so that's what I want to leave you guys with. That is what I want to focus on. I know it's not always done that way. So the veterans standing next to me, the females specifically that have served before me, those years, I want to say thank you. And what I want to leave you guys with is the thought to go out and seek your own opinion. Talk to the veterans that have served and learn about their experiences. Don't ask them how hard it was. Ask them about the stories of the things that they got to do. Let them tell you about their experiences, their missions, their friends, their squads, and all of the tomfoolery that exists. Those are the memories that we enjoy, and that is what makes the military a member of a team. Thank you guys very much for having me.
Thank you to all of our speakers today. Thanks to Cecilia Westbrook with the Lafayette Women's Club for again organizing today's event. A big thank you to the Lafayette High School Media Specialist Stephanie Walker for preparing today's slides. Thanks again to Miss Gwen Gregory for the music today. Thanks to the Lafayette Women's Club member Elisa Reagan for designing our program today. And thanks to all of you for being a part of today's program. If you are an elected official, please stand to be recognized. Please join me in recognizing all of our veterans. Please stand when your praise of service is recognized.
Thank you.
You know, feel free to join in with the words to your anthem as we reach it in our medley.
Well, good morning. Thank you, first of all, to all of our veterans represented today. It's always an honor and a privilege to stand before you and say thank you for what you did, the sacrifices you made, the service that you gave to our country. To everyone that's been involved in the production of this morning, from the Women's Club that puts it together every year, to our students who've been actively involved, and especially our speakers, we just appreciate that. 28 years, that's a pretty good track record, so we definitely appreciate you guys. Continue to make that commitment to our community. I want to just real quickly hit a word that Major Colonel C brought up, which I thought was fantastic this morning, and thank her and Representative Cameron for speaking. But she used the word opportunity. And when I think about that, I think about the students that are seated here this morning. No matter what that opportunity that you're considering or presents to you, it all goes back to a decision that was made by a veteran. They took an opportunity to serve their country, thus providing you every opportunity that you currently have. And so when I think about that, when I got up this morning and was thinking about this service, I put my dad's flag on. My dad passed in August, and he was a proud veteran, and I'm a proud son of a proud veteran. And I think about every opportunity that I've had throughout my life. All goes back to a decision that he made when he was 16. He somehow got in the military when he was 16. But he made a decision that provided me opportunities. And so I'll just reiterate what both of our speakers so greatly put in the word this morning, and that is meet one of our veterans, get to know them, find out the opportunities that they had, and then express to them your thanks for the opportunities that you're going to have in your future based on what they did for us. We never, ever want to forget what it took to get us where we are today in this country. And without that sacrifice and those opportunities, we might not be in this auditorium this morning having the freedom to have a service such as this. And so I never want to fail to thank our veterans for what you did and know that you created opportunities for me, but also for the students that we serve every day. We never take that lightly. So thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. On behalf of Lafayette High School faculty, staff, and my amazing student body, we would like to show our appreciation and respect to all of our special visitors, elected officials, guests, and most importantly, our military veterans for coming out on this very warm morning to help us honor and celebrate the sacrifices and services that you have made. It is truly an honor for Lafayette High School to host this event every year. Thank you also to my amazing students in First Block for your respect, your time, and your attention to this special event and for attending the program today. You are missing class, so you can thank your teacher later. I am always immensely proud of our JROTC cadets and the program here who co-sponsor this special program every year in conjunction with my members of the Lafayette Women's Club under the Georgia Women Federation. A special thank you to Cecilia Westbrook, who never wants the recognition, but who diligently undertakes this program every year. I have emails to prove. It gets better and better, Cecilia, every year under your leadership. And thank you again to President Rachel Williford, Alex Rogers, and Sarah McClure, who are both teachers here, for your continued sponsorship and support of the Junior Ed Club here at Lafayette High School. It's amazing to see how involved students can be and the leaderships that they can take on roles and responsibilities here when they have a dynamic group of women that support them. I've been a part of this Veterans Day program now for 20 years, some years serving as a member of the Lafayette Women's Club, and since 2011, serving as a building administrator here at the high school. Besides my graduation ceremony, this may be one of the most favorite programs that we get to collaborate on with our civic organizations and our city and council leaders and elected officials. I am too proud of my dad's service to the U.S. Army. Every year I share this particular soldier's creed to remind us all of the sacrifices that our veterans have already made for you and for me. It is entitled The Soldier's Creed. I am an American soldier. I am a warrior and a member of a team. I serve the people of the United States, and I live the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined. I am physically and mentally tough, and I am trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert, and I am a professional. And I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I am a guardian of your freedom and the American way of life, because I am an American soldier. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man choose to lay down his life for his friends. That's John 15:13. This quote has always been a very powerful quote to me, because there are only two defining forces that have ever offered to die for you: Jesus Christ and the American soldier. One person died for your soul, and the other person died for your freedom. I thank them both every day for their willingness to die, has granted us all the freedoms that we enjoy today. Once again, we are eternally grateful for the service and commitment to our nations. Will you help me again to thank our veterans? I have the opportunity to close the program, so students, as in a minute you'll be asked to exit out. There is snacks and Little Debbie cakes and butter. There's something first. I don't speak sign language. Sorry.
She doesn't speak sign language. You gotta go out there and wave them off.
There's a slide presentation still to go. No, we're done. But the snacks and the water are for the veterans. Okay, that's what I'm trying to establish. You have snacks at lunch, and probably